ちょっと汚れたスーツケースを持って何も知らずに空から降りた地図の向こうここに山上夢見た憧れの場所 Yeah 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 The Rock City boy Yeah 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 The Rock City boy
Even before it had a name, people would always dress up. It was originally something geeks did on Halloween and like in private or whatever, and now we go to places to cosplay and get invited and paid and things like that.
Cosplayers usually wear their outfits to either conventions or gatherings or meetups. There's a lot to do at conventions, they're really fun.
With the increasing popularity of sci-fi, comics, and anime, geek culture has reached a new level of visibility and prominence. Since 1980, all but 8 of Hollywood's top-performing films have been sci-fi or fantasy.
Geek culture is more accepted nowadays because you have what is a generation of people who grew up in certain kinds of geek culture, particularly technological culture, growing up.
Back in the 50s, we didn't really have geek culture. America was a different place.
In the 80s, we started playing video games. I was born in 1980, but now all of my peers are the people who are designing them, and they're influencing culture.
Kids that were growing up in the 80s or like late 70s, having children, they had Ataris, they had video games, they were into comic books.
Cosplay mirrors this growth. In 2013, Sci-Fi Channel aired the reality show Heroes of Cosplay, while San Diego Comic-Con draws 130,000 attendees each year, thousands of which come in costume.
One reason that I think cosplay might be more and more popular is the tendency in current postmodern American culture to be tolerant.
Like gay marriage and legalizing marijuana. People are less judgmental in recent years than they were in years past. And I do think that that helps increase the rise in cosplay.
Insofar as, as people that are into cosplay are doing something different, maybe something that most people don't do, I think that, that aspect of current American culture might be amenable.
I don't want to just go be a lawyer or a doctor. Like, if I want to stay home and make costumes for a living, it's not seen as like, oh, you have an unconventional job? That's terrible. It's really growing now, and people are like, yeah, do what you want to do for your life and be happy.
Somebody that thinks negative cosplay, I would just say to each their own. I like dressing up and hanging out with friends, having a good time, being a geek. And they don't understand it, that's fine. They might want to go out to a club and dance on random women that they don't know. I don't understand that, but I'm not going to bash them for doing what they like to do. Hopefully they don't bash me for doing what I like to do.
Like my little brother who's like, I play sports and I work at a plant and I'm a manager. He doesn't get it at all, but now that that more and more people are aware of the community, someone like my little brother can see what I do, and it's not so weird.
You see the guys at football games with their face painted blue and white, rooting for their team. Well, that's kind of like what happens here. This is our Super Bowls.
Like, that's what I do, right? You know that you're a geek. You're geeking out about football.
Cosplay is female-dominated, with nearly 3 times as many women participating as men. This mirrors trends and issues of gender present in mainstream media and society.
It's looked upon as being womanly to sew and to make outfits. And a lot of guys are going to feel insecure doing that. And sadly, that's just because of the way society has separated these gender roles and, where that term toxic masculinity comes from.
Sometimes the way that one is gendered in society can be very limiting as far as how to act or what kind of freedom you can have, including in, can I be sexy? Am I going to be thought of as a slut because of that, etc.? And in a lot of cosplay spaces that can still happen, but there's a lot more freedom of saying, but this is about a character. This is about me owning my body in a different way.
Everyone's going to be judgmental no matter what kind of community you're in, which is really unfortunate.
Cosplayers on a whole cite cosplay as a vessel of social growth. Although an equal amount of cosplayers tested as introverted as they did extroverted, While taking the I-Sync personality test during a psychological study, many state that cosplay has helped them socially.
So my favorite one that I've ever done is Supergirl, and the reason why is I used to be super shy, like super shy. And the more I wore that costume, I kind of felt like I became Supergirl, and I kind of developed her, like, you know, powerfulness and just that confidence, and it actually brought me out of my shell.
People who are shy and sort of introverted tend to gravitate toward cosplay because it gives them a chance to be somebody different, and it kind of gives you this like practice mode for being an extrovert, and then you get to take it off and be your introverted self again.
I think the people that I knew that were into dressing up as, you know, their characters, they were outsiders, and they found an opportunity to bond with other people that were also outsiders. In American culture, what's oftentimes valued is a kind of superficiality. Don't think too deeply. Don't get too interested in one particular thing. People that do think deeply, they're looked at as kind of weird. They're really interested in what they're doing. The earnestness, you've got the depth, and you've got the social awkwardness, and they all probably constellate around one another.
We've always been around, but now there's finally an outlet, and as people are learning more and more about this, they're saying, oh my god, this is a thing, this exists, I can go out among my people and not be called nerd, geek, dork. You're accepted.
It's like our Mecca. It's like this is where we come, where everyone's a geek, it's our own community. You know, everyone kind of loves each other, and it's where you can just be you, and no one's going to make fun of you or anything like that. So that's why I love cons. It's like our home.
You know, it's an escape from reality. You know, just to be able to get away for a few hours, pretend the world doesn't exist. You know,
I think if I didn't have this to escape, I mean, this and comic books, I'd probably lose my mind.
ちっぽけな自分がおかしくなった何もかも法に出して